Okay, everybody here is here, I think it's gonna be here for a meeting. Thanks for coming today. And the chair will go ahead and call this Airport Authority meeting to order for June the 30th. And our first order of business, of course, is to approve the minutes of the last meeting, May 26th. Okay, any questions or comments concerning the minutes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the minutes are approved from May the 20th. 30th, I'm sorry. So we'll go on to the next order of business is public comment. I don't think anybody here. Okay.
I got two items that have been needed fixing for quite a while. At the main entrance gate, one of those lights is still burned out. And also one of the front doors to the terminal building, the mechanical mechanism does not work. We can only use one door.
Which hangar is that?
The front of the terminal.
Front door.
Oh, the front door.
Lobby.
Okay, anything else?
Did that fellow, the contractor for the AWAS, contact you? I gave him your name and number.
He did. We'll talk about that later.
Very good, okay.
Thanks, Neil. We'll check this out. Correct. Anyone else got any comment in the public session?
I had an email that I was asked to read, but if we're gonna talk about the AWAS later, we'll hold on to it before we do.
Okay. We're loaded for bear. Okay, our first order of business on our agenda is the adoption of our FY 15 and 16 budget.
And Miles,
And I'll recognize,
I'm sorry, I brought copies for everybody.
thank you. If you-
One, two, you just want to pass this information. Sounds like too many pages. That was the ordinance, the whole.
Oh, that's the county budget.
It's this, right, is it a part of, that's the email, that's the
But
email.
I said you the wrong thing.
I don't know. If there's something,
Everybody
there's-
realizes
I
it.
might have sent you the wrong thing. I don't
well,
know.
now there's there's in there about the airport because I saw it.
No,
So
the actual
maybe,
airport ordinance looks like this. Do you have a copy?
I do. How many copies would you like?
We'll just have a seat there. You
Third.
take
Yeah,
Joe's
you can
place.
sit here.
Yeah.
I guess
If you don't mind, sit
Five
back.
copies?
Gary.
When I saw that going around, I went, wait a minute, what's too much? Yeah, I mean, the airport
It's
is
in
funded
there,
but
but it's-
the airport authority has to adopt their own budget.
Okay.
What the county budget appropriates, just appropriates transferring $40,000 to the airport. Anyway, while she's making copies, I
Go
can
ahead.
speak to it.
Yeah, speak to that. if you will. We appreciate it.
The budget as presented is gonna be $47,000 total, $40,000 from the county, $7,000 from your fuel sales and your lease here. I know you guys had asked for, I think, a bump of $9,000 additional. That wasn't in Derek's recommended budget, so of course that wasn't approved. So I prepared your budget ordinance for you guys to adopt based on the $40,000 plus the $7,000.
That's pretty much what we had last.
That's what you have currently, yes. So same funding.
Okay, does anyone have a question for Lori on our budget?
Is she running off a line?
She's printing off your ordinance that you're reviewing adopting.
Is there anything we can do to take $9,000 added back in?
That's our commission right there. If he wants to address that, address that issue.
Yeah.
Is that,
I said, did you want to address that issue for, Gary?
I presume this is 9,000 less than what y'all had requested.
Yeah, it's the
So
same
we
level.
held basically everybody flat.
Yeah.
Everybody, I think there's only 2 increases. We added 2 dispatchers to EMS. What was the other increase? Oh, it was,
4 full-time
Jail employees?
detention,
Yeah,
but that
detention.
washed by having 4 full-time.
the SROs.
We don't have any, won't have as much part-time and overtime, so that basically washed itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as outside agencies, we
Yeah.
held pretty much every, like the schools came in wanting.
Yeah.
600, 1,000, or whatever they wanted, we kept them flat.
Just like a raise of rent.
Well, that's one option. No, really like that. Just kidding. Anybody else got a question for Lori on this budget?
Wanna be back?
Keep it top seven, whatever.
Okay, the chair will entertain a motion then that we go ahead
I
and
moved that.
approve the budget amendment.
Well, I haven't seen it, but I assume it
There
says
she
40.
is. It does, it says 47,000 total.
All right, it breaks it down.
It breaks it down, yes, sir.
Yeah. Did I hear a motion? We approve.
Yeah, hold on. Make sure Pete's on it.
Any of those line items, we can move them around. I just basically, I think he had put the extra 9,000 maybe in the property and building, and I just had to adjust it to make 47,000 work. But at any point in time, if you needed to move money within any of those line items, that's easily accomplished.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we adopt the budget ordinance as presented.
Your second. Any further discussion? Just one question, Lord, this budget that we're adopting today, the money that we may have had in fund balance this past year, it's not in this, but it'll be still in our account.
Yeah, it will be.
But
It'll be available for you moving
If we
forward.
need, if we need it, we can move, we'll have to have a budget amendment to move it forward.
Right.
Into our regular budget, okay? Don't be sure of that.
Yes, your fund balance doesn't go away,
Now,
whatever.
I'm not gonna ask you what the fund balance is.
I don't know, no. And of course, we're about to close out the books, so there'll be some adjusting entries, and I'll bring you an audit report, in a few months to say, here's your fund balance.
Okay. All right, everybody free to vote on this budget amendment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. And it's approved. Thank you, Lori, for a good job.
Thank you.
We appreciate your work on helping us out with the budget and a lot of other things you and Teresa. We just could not. I don't know what we do without you two. Dave. Okay. Jimmy, we're glad to have you back with us today from down in the hot country.
I'm glad to be here. It's a
Cool
lot
mountains.
cooler up this way.
Yes, it is. So we'll recognize Engineer at this time, and you just take over
All right, thank you, Mr.
and
Chairman.
bring us up to speed on
Several things have been outstanding, obviously, the AWAS, the beacon, and the obstruction lights. So the county has received your grant documents and the workbook, and I'm sure Lori and Teresa have issued POs, I think, to the AWAS contractor and the rotating beacon contractor. I'm not sure where you stand on the obstruction lights, because I haven't been following that, and Pete's been handling that.
We have issued the purchase order to Masala, which is AWAS. We haven't issued the Beacon Walker and Whiteside.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow, because our new year starts tomorrow. I didn't want to have to void a purchase order and then turn around and reissue, so. But I knew that AWAS was pressing. It has a pretty good several week lead time,
Yeah, it
so.
does.
Where the
The-
Beacon doesn't have as much, right?
Delivery date's basically the same once they get the PO. The AWAS had a bump of about $1,800 some dollars. Lori caught that with Mac to
that.
Tesla, and they
Thanks,
bumped it
Lori.
back
You did a good job on it.
original quote. So saved you a little bit of money there. So that's in the works, it'll be ordered, that's probably an 8 to 10 week lead time on that, is my understanding.
That's what it said.
Yeah.
But it is ordered and you will be getting a new ambulance. So,
We have a time frame on
about 8.
8 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks.
that? I was last year, like you.
The beacon, they're basically saying it'll be like a one-day installation and so you get ready to go. So they'll come out. And I think the county had agreed they'd have a bucket truck or someone would have a bucket truck for these guys. I think that's the way it was. Talked about it in November. That may not be
I've been
necessary.
on water on the bridge since we approved that thing, so I'll have to refresh my memory.
I don't know if that's necessary, but I
Maybe
do
I-
remember that conversation.
Teresa got some enough time to go back in the minutes and see what we did discuss about that.
And they may not need it themselves, but I know, I think one time that was a topic that if they had a lift to get them up there, they can take it down and put the new one up. But the lift wasn't part of their money.
Right. It looks like the beacon's a 3-week delivery. Like I said, installation's just one day.
We'll get up there somewhere in there.
Okay. And the obstruction lights, like I said, I think it was Pete.
We got 3 up and running. Is that
3
right,
are-
Neil? Could you address that issue, the obstruction lights?
E-Tech Electrical.
They got 3 of them performing now.
Three.
And they're working on the rest of them.
I believe they are,
Parts
yeah.
and stuff that's ordered, so.
Was that the electrician was here a couple months ago
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
that? He does a
Eric.
good job.
Eric will lead it.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
No.
Please.
Okay. And then after the last meeting, Richard and I walked the runway. I sent a letter to Sloan Construction about the concerns with some cracks appearing. They have sent a representative out, told me that they walked the runway as well. They're gonna have someone else come out and follow up with a letter. So that's heard back from them since 2 weeks ago.
Richard, would you address that?
Yeah, they couldn't find the crack, so I met with the representative of Reed's Construction out here, and we went over it. I showed him all the cracks, along with the cracks that was down through there. He said he'd be writing you a letter. What he told me up there, he was feeling like it wasn't his fault, but.
Typical contractor. I was gonna say that.
Well, I ain't gonna say that because I was a contractor.
But no, in the conversation, that's first thing he said, well, don't you think it's something to do? I said,
We
just
always
tell
said that
you gotta
for
address
years.
it.
But anyhow, we walked it up there and we found some shoving too, and I think you and I found out shoving where it looked like it wouldn't tack real good, so.
And I've had a conversation on the phone with him, and he said he was having, that was Casey Swagger I talked to, he was having someone above him come out and take a look.
Tony Phillips was who I met with, he was in administration.
Tyson Hope, the guy that was in PM's, no longer with those guys, so I had to flip to somebody else, but he was on site when it was being constructed, so he was very aware of it.
They were actually from Reed's Construction because Sloan's is, their parent company is Reed's. I mean, it's really Kolosh, but Reed's.
Yeah, my contacts were with
That's gonna be a job. I mean, there's 2 ways to fix it. You can mill it out and put it back, or you can put crack filler in it.
Right now, they're not, in my opinion, detrimental enough or severe enough to do anything. You're gonna create more aggravation, if you will, to try to fix them, but we're gonna monitor them, and if they continue to get wider, then we'll do something.
The only problem, that's okay to monitor and make sure, but it's only a year warranty on it. We're gonna have, longer on something like that, because it could take, the crack's gonna get wider and wider. I mean, if it's 2 years, I mean,
Yeah, that,
we know the cracks are there now.
that's right. And they've
So
been
is-
put on notice that they're
Right.
there, and they have a warranty item to take care of. So
Now,
that's been established now.
they're not, willing to, work with us on that. The only other thing would be to mill it out and do it again.
I think they're gonna work. I mean, right now, that would be my opinion. I didn't get any pushback.
I think they would, I mean.
They came
I believe I
out
would.
pretty immediate and took a
Are
look
we,
at it. so-
are we holding any money?
No.
But we still got the bonds, don't we?
Right.
See, we haven't released no performance bond payment, we shouldn't have, so we haven't, right?
They're still tied to the one you want until October the 14th, I think it is, something like that. So, and it made it through the winter, and this is what we're seeing right now, so, first thing they said, well, there's water out there. I said, yeah, but it's only coming through the crack where you got a crack, you know. We'll stay on top of it, if you will, and see where we go from there. I'm just waiting to get a correspondence letter back from them to see what the next appropriate action will be to take care of that. We'll get something addressed on to make sure. you're
Before
satisfied.
October of this year, John.
That would be the warranty, and if they decide to extend the warranty, I even approached that subject with him, but he wasn't the person that could answer that either, so.
Can I ask you another question? Actually, the job wasn't closed out. When they waiting on lighting contractors to finish it up? When was the last time?
That's their warranty period started.
It was, that's when the lighting company got done.
It's in our final inspection notices, and all that took time to.
Does the bond stay effective if they go another year on the warranty?
That would be something that I would have to get into. I don't know the particular thing. But yeah, they would have to, if they opt to extend it or we force them to extend it, they would have to have some type of bond on it.
Okay, so position this board is just wait and see.
Right, you're still under warranty. You still
You're
got
still under warranty
4 months or
until-
so left
so,
under warranty, and
okay.
they've been alerted per the contract documents. They've been notified. They've got a warranty issue, and
Okay.
we'll move forward to get it addressed.
So, Richard, since you're an old asphalt man, you know, you've got more, I'll never know about. If you would work with Jimmy
I'll
on
be
this, just
glad
kind of
to.
keep an eye on things, you and Jimmy work together. We appreciate it.
Yeah, glad to.
All right.
That's all I got here. Any other questions on anything?
Yeah, I got a question. Yeah, good. Okay, thanks, Jimmy, for coming up, being with us today. We'll keep moving along. We're making progress. Okay. Agenda item number 6, we're gonna do a little appointing and electing and so forth and so on here on agenda item number 6. The nomination of members for the Macon County Airport Authority expired terms. We have 2 that terms have expired. We have one, Tommy Jenkins, his term has expired. He served 6 years, done a good job, appreciate it. We have one that's served out Harold Corbin's term, and we appreciate you, Richard, as an asset to the board. So we're just open the floor for nomination to recommend these 2 gentlemen back for another phase, and they've agreed to serve another 6-year term. And that's a long term, but we appreciate them being willing to serve another 2 terms. So according to our charter, we have to do this, and it gives the board an option to, if somebody objects, they can object. So it's time the chairman entertain a motion that we send these 2 names to the county commissioners.
I'll make a motion.
Here a second. I'll second the motion. All in favor, say aye. And you gentlemen will send your names up to the county commissioners, and I'm sure they'll be approved. And if they're not approved, well, we know who to talk to. Now, congratulations.
Just 6 years.
6 years. It'll go fast. It'll go real fast, quicker than you might think for. Okay, we need to elect the chair.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to place a nomination, some guy, I can't remember his name. Miles Gregory. I think Miles has done a good job for us the last few years, and I don't know anybody who would want to put up with what he puts up with our lot. All the work he's put into it, he's committed. Has done a lot of good things for the airport, and has made the ship run right. And I think he's kept us all together, and I've never heard a ill word at one authority meeting. I think he's got a lot to do with that, his work in the office. I would place his name in nomination.
Any other nominations? That's good. All right, all in favor of electing Chuck Rickard for another 2-year term, say aye. And thank you, all three of you very much. Appreciate it. It's been a pleasure. And I've been blessed. I really have been blessed. I've been on this airport authority since its inception. And that's been 15 years, and I haven't missed a meeting.
No, you haven't.
Well, we all can say.
Been on this 2 months. Well, I know Miles done an excellent job.
Thank you. I've enjoyed working with you guys. It's been a pleasure for me, and we've accomplished a heck of a lot here. And with the help of the county commissioners, we've got some wonderful county commissioners we've been fortunate to work with, and all of us together as a team, we went forward, and we still got a lot more to do, and we're gonna keep on trucking we're gonna have a credible airport here yet. And Neil sit back there grinning, I see. So thanks again. But now then, we got to elect the vice chairman. The chair will open the.
Who's the vice chairman now? I don't know.
Gary.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, okay. Mr.
This will be
Chairman.
this will be a 2-year term this time.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I nominate Gary Smith for vice chairman with the same attributes and accolades that I gave you, just so. Make it.
She got them all wrote down. So-
I do, and I'll just repeat a copy it for you.
Cut and paste.
Any other nominations? All in favor of electing Gary for vice chairman for a 2-year term, say aye. Aye. Thank you, Gary, for being willing to serve. And we work together good, and I look forward to working with you for another 2 years. Good Lord willing. So we'll keep on trucking. Now then, we've got to elect the treasurer. He's Myrtle Beach.
Good, you can't
We can't
back
say
out.
no. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I nominate Ted Haycock, since he's not here to defend himself. Pete's done a good job.
He has done a good job. We appreciate
Very
it.
vigilant.
And he's worked a lot on these lights, and Neil knows what Pete's done down there, because Neil's, Pete stays the office a lot down here, so.
I can't believe you let him go to Palm Beach this week.
Well, he didn't get my permission to go. He went without my permission. All right, any other nominations? All in favor of electing Pete for a 2-year term for a treasurer, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we'll notify Pete when he's elected. He did say he would serve 2 more years if he did want to. And so, Lord, you've educated him a lot. You've helped him a lot in a lot of ways, so and he appreciates you, I know. Okay, that's taken care of. Let's go to agenda item number 8, open house. We talked about that at our last board meeting. Time and the date. So we appointed a committee at that point in time to work on this, and we appointed Richard and Gary Smith to work on this as a committee. So whichever one of you want to jump on this and talk to us a little bit about it, well, feel free to go ahead.
We thought a good day to do it would be August 22nd, Saturday, 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And we'd like to talk to you guys about getting some free ads in the paper about it.
Not my department, Gary,
Let's put it in the article.
Oh, it'll be in the article. I can do it.
It's to get the county and the town in the county over to the airport to look and see what we've done and see what they have here. Because they have something that's very special here. And it brings in a lot of money to this county.
Then somebody wrote to Ransom Raves the other day and said, you know, what good is the airport? What good is the county? I don't know. I think I know who it was, but I'm not gonna mention no name. But anyway, it does bring a lot indirectly into this county.
Yeah, that's already.
Absolutely.
And, you know, a lot of people don't even know we even got an airport out here. I was shocked to find out, you know, they didn't even know there's an airport in Macon County. So I think that would be good to, you know, let people see what they've got out here and how nice airport we got.
Yeah.
Because I've been to a lot of airports, it's not this nice.
A lot of bigger areas. but-
Yeah.
Now, Richard has also talked to somebody to come and do lunch here, and that, I'll let Richard talk about.
I don't know what the call said, but it's the truck, it's down there that sells hot dogs and drinks and
Yeah.
stuff like that on Depot Street right there. I stopped and asked them if they wanted.
There's a roadside eats on
Yeah,
the
roadside eats, yeah.
But they also do the picking on the square up there, and they said they would be glad to come down on that Saturday and set up out here.
Did they give you any kind of charge, what they charge?
No, they're just doing it for what they make.
What they make,
What they make?
just what they do on like.
Doesn't cost us
on
later.
Just what it- Okay.
Oh, so you're saying that to be available if the public wanted to get a hot
Yes.
dog, they'd pay for it themselves?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well,
Unless you all want to do something else.
Jim, you made, what do you think about that? Give us
Sounds
your
good to me,
thoughts
it's
on it.
free.
Yeah.
You think maybe we could,
Yeah, I'm sure we can
give
squeeze
them
some
money
funds
out
out.
of county commissioners to
Yeah,
help
I'll
out?
do that, yeah. Pay for some of this stuff, so.
You got any kind of figure in that?
I don't know how much do y'all need. I mean, did you have any in your current budget? I saw there was some in there for events.
And that's
All
the thing,
Macon County
is,
shows up.
it's gonna determine, I guess, it's gonna depend on how many people show
Yeah,
up.
I doubt that all Macon County will come, but,
Yeah, I
we
know,
can set,
right?
we can set, really, you know, we can set a figure and use that, and if we have any left over, then we can give it back to the county. And if they use all of it, then we just see what was, you know, we run out of anything.
We
can say
got
that's it.
10,000 on our events line.
Well, you're only going from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock. You just going from 10 to 3.
That's what you got now.
Yeah, from 10 to 3,
Your
so
events, money is your.
Christmas.
might get them to show up around 11, 12, something like that. Or would you want them right here? I'm like you, I don't look for, you know,
But we've had some events down here before, and Tommy, I'm thinking the crowd started coming in, what, about 11:30?
Yeah, really, all we're gonna do, I mean, we're not supplying anything. They're gonna buy, if they want something to eat, they're gonna buy their hot dog, they're gonna buy their drink, then they're gonna take a tour. And if we're gonna have any flights or anything,
Well, we wanted to talk to the helicopter guy over at Cherokee about.
but he would charge, I mean, they would pay
That
that.
was his own thing, that wouldn't be on us.
So really, all we've got to do is some advertising,
Liability issue.
I guess.
You know, if y'all offered
Well,
points, there's
and
liability.
maybe extra
Clean up.
insurance, yeah, and clean up.
yeah, we'll clean up.
Would we have to have a rider on the insurance or something?
As long
Well,
as you're
I'm
not
thinking
flying,
to
I
get
think
a
we
big
should be
crowd.
okay. That's what I was saying, you may not wanna offer flights, cause that's a liability.
Well, we wouldn't do
issue.
that, but the helicopter company.
Yeah.
And Joe's looking into event insurance, like you have in your air show.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just do it for a day or two. or whatever.
What I'm thinking, to get a larger crowd to come out, if we offer free hot dogs, or if we sell a hot dog or a hamburger, whatever the board decides, I think it's gonna have a lot more to do with getting people to come down for a free hot dog and a drink. So, you know, rather than have to buy it.
Well, why don't we see what Roadside Eats
Would charge,
charge us
yeah.
for 250 hot dogs or 500 hot
We
dogs?
just need to know a number, you know, what we can tell them, you know.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And they might even give us a special deal, you know, like a lump sum thing for whatever, something like that or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how you want to do that.
Well, we need to think through that. We wouldn't, you know, have them buy a bunch of hot dogs or hamburger, whatever the board decides, and then they wind up with a bunch left over. You know, then what are they gonna do with it? So,
Yeah,
that's right.
whether they get gone or not,
Right.
you know, they don't need to be on the hook. It's gonna be you saying, we wanna order this and we're gonna pay this kind of
Right.
thing, so.
So that's why I'm
You gotta
thinking-
plan it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna develop a guest list? I know that there were some names in particular.
I think it'd be great to have, you know, whoever.
Then you can
get
kind of
here.
go from that, I mean, see how many people that you've actually invited, and then,
Yeah.
I think it'd be important to personally invite some of your prominent businesses in the county.
That makes sense.
And I'm not trying to throw a kink in things, but I was just looking at my calendar tonight, and that's their Association of County Commissioners Conference.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I hadn't thought of that. But we can change the date.
So you'd miss this.
Suggested date.
You'd miss the four of us.
No, we can't do that. No, we gotta have it for here. So what's the next business? What's the next business? Yeah.
What we want with the next
We'll be gone Thursday through Sunday.
How about the week before?
The week before or after is fine on our calendar right now.
Week before or after? Okay.
The week after, we just give us another week to put it together.
That might mess me up. When are you gonna be in
So
Oshkosh?
just about the week after.
Out. Let's see, now we'll
See what they think.
You'll be back here.
We're saying 15. Is that what?
So the week after, it's
Either the
gonna be
15th
close
or
to
the
Labor Day.
29th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also have a meeting that.
Yeah.
The next Saturday is the first.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, I mean, if you go forward.
Yeah.
And plus we got a meeting too. So really the only other one is like,
So we got the 15th to the 29th.
yeah, 15th to 29th.
We need to get on there.
15's okay with me.
Let's do it. 15. You sure you got that thing? You got 15. All right. Now, let me say anything, certainly anything I can do to help you guys. I'm sure Tommy, Debbie, and we can. And,
Well, when do we know, you know, what the county's, well, I can tell these people, I mean, when do we need to?
well, you need to know something.
I need to know something to
Yeah.
tell them.
They need to call me or something so I can get on our agenda for our July meeting. So sometime between now and July 9th.
and if you all wanna give me some names, I can start doing start getting a guest list ready and think about it. The people, how many we got.
Very good. Jimmy, can you come up to that?
July 14th. July 14th.
Sorry, that
July 14th.
Not July, you're talking August.
August.
He's talking
Yeah,
about
he's talking-
I gotta get on our
get
meeting to
money,
get your money.
to ask for money from the commissioners.
Oh.
So you're thinking, when I talk to these people, about 250 people, I mean, tell them,
I guess,
I believe you can do that.
250 be a big crowd.
That'd be
Yeah,
big.
we want to.
That'd be a big crowd.
250 people.
We're not having an air show, we're just having.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have helicopter rides and we might have, it's possible we might have somebody that might come and display the exotic airplane, whatever.
I do.
You do, okay, you got it.
I'll get just aircraft.
But those little guys that do those minis, I mean, people love to watch that.
Yeah.
You know, the way they fly those little.
I'd say
minis
at
around.
least 5 of them.
You probably won't be able to fly there this year.
And you're optimistic.
You think
Big
about
crowd,
that?
500. Yep.
500.
Wow.
If they gonna get a free hot dog, there'll be a bunch of people come.
She gonna do like hot dog, chip and drink,
Yeah.
or what are you
Got
gonna
it
do?
now.
I guess you're just trying to do math and they do hot
Well,
dog,
that's
chip
over
and
a period of
drink.
time.
What about parking?
They do it for $3.
Okay,
Neil has a good point.
Sometimes
Neil
they
has brought
love
up a
it.
good point, parking.
Yes.
You just, well, the last air show we had, we parked over here in the field, we'll have to get somebody to mow it. Get bush off, and get, people just come out, come across the bridge drive down the field. That's what parked last a few.
Oh, the road is that?
Yeah, yeah, it's been loaded. We use that when we end up, I like our city.
Probably
That'll
got
work more than him.
organized.
That field.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
have
so-
traffic control people and stuff like that. We can get, if we can have somebody that's that many together.
Yeah, we think we can. Get somebody.
Sheriff Department.
Yeah, he's got a dead design.
I'm sure he has.
It was out there. Okay, all right. There's no other question about this open house.
Okay, so it's a done deal for the 15th then. Everybody's on board with that, right?
Do we need a motion to that
Do we
effect?
have any August 15th?
We obviously, general consensus in everybody in favor of 15, so I think that's fine. All right. Agenda item number 9. Our fence maintenance issue we talked about for a couple of meetings. And we haven't made any progress on it. And our money, we hopefully we're going to get enough money to address that issue, but our county commissioners in their wisdom seem fit to keep our budget as it was last year, so we're not going to have much money to do that maintenance project with. So the only other option that I know of is maybe hopefully talk to Basil about it. Jimmy, you think maybe we can talk to Basil and see if he can find some money somewhere that will address this maintenance issue?
That's the key, maintenance. I don't think you're gonna get much leverage there when it's a maintenance issue.
Okay,
You had to
what-
install new fence or
What
something.
issue do we need to use to get some attention?
Well,
Somebody knocked the fence down with a lawnmower.
I mean, security fencing is an eligible item under your grant insurances, but maintenance is not. But, I mean, you can,
Well, it's a-
run it up the flagpole.
It's a security item. With what we got out there now, it's gonna tear the fence down.
Again, they're gonna
Multiple
say
rows.
they gave you money, just like buying property or clearing obstructions. Once they fund that, it's your responsibility to continue maintaining that. So, I mean, it never hurts to ask, but I don't know that he's gonna have any ability, if you will. Not that he wouldn't want to, but he just may not be able to say he can allocate grant funds to maintenance.
I'll tell you what, if you, as long as you give him a call, and I'll do the same thing, I'll call him, so we'll leave 2 angles. And see if we can get him to find some money for us. But it's gotta be done. It's gonna cost us a whole lot more if we wait to get it done.
Now, if there's anything along there that's been identified in your 5010 report as an obstruction, that you can say, I'm taking that down and making some headway. But just to do clearing of your perimeter fence, that's gonna be a maintenance item.
Yeah, it's maintenance, I agree.
Um, Just your recollection from our last meeting, somebody was gonna send me an email about it, and see if we could get some of that done with our current county staff, but I haven't seen an email come through yet. So, if somebody can compose one from the authority,
And people just
email or something.
Teresa, we can get him some information on that. Yeah. I don't have your email address. If you leave that with me, I'll take it. Okay. Anybody got a comment or question about our maintenance program? Grass needs to go that front. Pete's burning, he's
Round up.
He's getting behind on his mobile. Eagle Scouts need a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Other business. Neil, you have anything to make up?
David Phillips is here. David flies for Drake Enterprises, is one of the primary users of the airport. David couldn't make it when you were discussing the AWAS. Could you restate that so he'll know what the plans are for their using the airport? Time frame, what?
Teresa, did you?
Sure. right now, we're looking at, the grant from the department, the Division of Aviation has just been approved. We just got the contract with them in our workbook. We've had to send out back a document to the Division of Aviation that's called a project. It's called a notice to proceed, a project concurrence and notice to proceed, which we have done. As soon as we get that back, then we can start, spending the dollars in the grant. In the meantime, Lori has applied and gotten the purchase order for the AWAS. It's about an 8-week response time. That's the company's time in order to get it installed. Also, Lori's gonna apply for the purchase order for the rotated beacon. That sounds to be like a pretty easy installation. Once it's gotten, it doesn't sound like it's gonna take as long as the AWAS.
It's about a 3-week order.
About a 3-week order
One day
time.
installation.
Out of the obstruction lighting, 3 have been repaired, and the rest of them will be repaired. But of course, as with all of these systems, they've been waiting. The Airport Authority has been waiting on their money from the Division of Aviation, because as you can hear from what we're discussing now, the Airport Authority does not have the money to repair those systems. It has to come from the Division of Aviation, and they have to jump through the hoops that the Division of Aviation puts out there for them. And so all of that is just now coming together and should be done actually within the next 2 to 3 months. It should be repaired.
I believe they gave us, what, 6 to 8 weeks on the AWAS.
I think Lori said 8 weeks until they can.
Like Jimmy said, 8 to 10. 8 was the minimum,
So that's what we're looking
Can I
at.
ask a question?
Sure.
What happened to the parts that were ordered by April 28th to repair the AWAS here?
The Division of Aviation killed it because they were very expensive and they didn't want to replace, they didn't want to do maintenance on this existing AWAS when they're going to turn right around and put in a brand new one. Because the brand new one is like $76,000. And the parts that they needed in order to repair the existing one were up in the thousands of dollars as well. And so they didn't want, nor do they have the money, and they didn't want to fund repairing and then replacing.
Was the funds not left over from the apron work? Is that not correct?
No.
Because when we put our apron in, we saved y'all a whole lot of concrete area that y'all didn't have to put in, that Drake actually paid for. And it was lots and lots of square feet. And what I understood in January that money was what was going to be allocated for the AWAS.
The money was allocated for the AWAS. However, the Division of Aviation came through and said, we're not going to just let you use that money. We're going to have to reissue those leftover dollars as another grant. And so they didn't just say you can just continue with these dollars that are in your budget now. They went all the way back to the whole process of taking those dollars that were left over from the apron, putting them in another pot of money, which is federal money, and we had to go all the way back to the same process and start all over with it again. It was very difficult to get it approved because as a rule, the Division of Aviation will not give you dollars to spend on several different small projects in one grant. They will give you $2 million to repave the runway. It's very, very difficult, and it took more time to get approval for them to come through and agree to fund these small projects than it did for them to fund the big ones. And so we have moved on everything. Every time the Division of Aviation has said, go ahead, do this, we've done it on this end. And then they get it out of the Division of Aviation, and then they have to do what they have to do. We're talking about interagency between the Airport Authority, Macon County, the Finance Office, the Division of Aviation, the County Commissioners, and the Department of Transportation in order to get these grants into place. I mean, it's not a quick fix. You just don't call them up and ask them for the money, and they give it to you. And so that's what they're doing right now is we just got our contract which had to be signed by everybody involved, sent it back to them, got their signatures from downtown Raleigh, which I think that took a month just to get the signatures. They sent that back to us. We waited another 3 weeks or more, got the electronic workbook, sent that back to them along with, because we couldn't do the notice to proceed in project concurrence, which we have to sign, and then the Division of Aviation has to sign. There was another 3-week wait on that, and they've got that now. So it'll just be when they get back to us, because you can't start spending that money until you have all this documentation.
So everything's in place.
Everything's in
AWAS has
place.
been ordered.
Yes, the purchase order was issued, I believe it was this past Friday,
Okay.
to Visalia to order the AWAS.
Okay, all right, thanks.
David, I thought we had give you that information. I know the county attorney called me a couple times and sent me some emails in the last month. And we replied back to him to get to you. You had to call the county chairman
No, just
Or-
emailed.
Or mailed him, whatever.
Yeah, I'm
Anyway, you
talking-
contact him, and he contacted the county attorney, and contacted me. So from now, if you would, we'd appreciate it if you just contact either me or one of the members of the board. I think that'd be
I
the
don't, I
proper
was contacting
protocol.
Kevin Corbin too, I sent it back to him.
I know you did.
And I don't even know him, if he's sitting in here, I don't know if
Well,
Kevin's
we the
there.
airport authority,
Do what?
we the airport authority here.
Yeah,
So if you have any issues, if you will from now on,
yeah, because he was the one that was replying back to me.
well, you should have asked one of the members of the board here. They'd been happy to, and we did give him that, since going, have to go through all this rigmarole to get to you. If you just pick up the phone, either call me, I'm the chairman,
Yeah.
call me, or call either one of these members here, we'd be happy to answer your questions.
Okay.
And so that's proper
Well, I don't
protocol.
want to make you upset or anything.
Well, I mean, you know.
But my life is at stake.
We understand that, and we're doing everything, we
You know,
appreciate.
My
we
life
appreciate-
is
I
worth
know it
more
is.
than who I contact on an email. I don't mean to make anybody mad. I don't know who to contact. I just know Kevin's one's always
But in
replying
our
back.
airport authority, you know, we're here.
But
got our plan out here.
you've been CC'd on every email that has came from Kevin.
No, I'm sorry, I haven't either.
Well, I'll email them to you.
Okay.
Well, but the wheels are in motion, we're getting it fixed.
We're trying to-
I'm not trying to upset
We're doing
nobody. I'm
everything we
just
can.
asking.
We just appreciate you if you
Yeah.
would show the board a little courtesy and call one of the members of this board, or either call me, and I'd be happy to talk to you anytime. And we get it done a whole lot quicker, and you get your information a whole
I'm
lot
not
quicker.
trying to make you mad, Miles.
Well, I'm not,
Yeah, you're mad, I can tell.
Well, I'm just being frank with you,
Yeah.
you know.
But you know, that
He's
offends
understood.
me right
He's
there that I
understood.
can't contact anybody and ask.
You can
them.
contact
Yes,
Washington if you
exactly.
want to. I mean, we don't have no control of who you
I'm not
contact.
trying to make anybody mad, I'm just
Okay.
saying.
We'll leave it at that.
Yes.
Okay. So, but we'll get your information. and
I think the
we're
ball's
gonna-
been dropped, is what I think. I'll just put that out there.
Well, you're wrong. I'll tell you right now, you're wrong.
Okay, I may be.
You are. You are wrong.
Mr. Phillips, we have it documented from start to finish. I mean, and honestly, we could provide that to you. It truly has been as
Well,
frustrating.
that's fine, you know,
as-
it's just,
I mean, really, you know, everybody has been working. Here's part of the problem is at the division, and I'm not blaming on the Division of Aviation. All of their older staff have left.
Yeah.
The person who helped me with the grants all the time, who was the bee's knees, gone. They've got a new member in, and she's just not as experienced. And when it comes to asking a simple question, where Nancy would have been able to say, Nancy Siegler would have been able to say, oh, yeah, you know, we can do it this way. They don't do that. Now it goes by the rules. They did not even let us know, and I would have to look. I think it was until December that they had to have a new grant. We had just been working with them up until that point, trying to get them, you know, just working with them with the understanding that they were just going to do a grant, a modified grant, and move those dollars, and it would have been like much, much more simple. Basically, yeah, our project manager is also really, really young and is a great kid. Great guy. He let us know in January that we were going to have to start the whole grant process all over again. And that's what we've done. And then we had some issues with getting those dollars in place once we started all over again. And I have worked for the Airport Authority for many, many years. We have done millions and millions of dollar grants. And I can honestly tell you, this $129,000 grant has been the most frustrating one I've ever worked on.
can I ask the status of one more thing, and I'll be quiet?
Sure.
In January, I asked about a tree to be cut down here on the approach end. Y'all said y'all would do it, and it's still there. What's the status on that?
I guess it's still there if you should.
Are there any status to maybe take care of that?
Well, wouldn't that be part of that, when we're gonna get rid of some of the instructions? I'll just tell you, David, you know me, and I'm telling you, the airport authority has done everything,
Okay.
and I'm telling you the truth, because it affects me too.
Yes, it does.
Coming in here, I come in here IFR all the time, and the ceilings are very important to both of us. But they are doing all they can. And
Well, that's all I ask.
promise you that
I'm not trying to
nobody
make you mad, I'm just
has
saying I
gone
Yes,
can't
by.
I ain't mad. I just being, I just being frank with you.
But if we could get something on that tree, we'd be
And I think
nice.
the trees and stuff is part of this instruction stuff, for
Yeah,
this,
right.
for the AWAS, I mean, not for the AWAS, for the approaches and stuff like that. It's just gonna be cut at one time, sometime. I don't know when it's gonna be,
In fact, he told me last week he's gonna take the person.
He does it.
but I'll get it started.
He said, he got to think about going to Murder Beach.
But everything you ask, I'll promise.
Thank y'all very much.
Yeah, David, we.
I'd like y'all to go fly with me sometimes to see
Well, I'd love to,
that thing
yeah.
is.
Well, it's
We,
aggravating when they bring you on over here.
Yeah.
And you have to go back to the approach, you have to do a precision turn. And if you come on that side of it, you don't have to do a precision turn, which it makes it hard on us as a pilot. But what I've been doing is getting the weather at Toccoa and Gainesville and all around there and see what the ceilings is, and over here in Andrews, and pretty much whatever the ceilings are there is gonna be the same here. And if it's any iffy, I'll just go ahead and file on today L and just go ahead and shoot the approach. I mean, really, you get down to minimums, whatever, you know. Just go ahead and shoot the approach if you're not real sure. Can't get the ceiling here.
Don't quote me on this. But I believe I'd rather fly with you, David, than with my good friend, Gary. He don't mind that. I wouldn't say it about him. He's a big boy.
He's right over there.
He sure did, he wasn't go right there.
I don't know, I'm letting Gary bother you now. I'm sorry.
Thanks, appreciate you coming in and
Yeah.
talking to us, and we're gonna get there. Just
still my
have
friend?
patience. Oh, yeah, I'll shake your hand. I'll shake your hand anytime, absolutely.
We're working.
All right, any other business?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I've got one short thing. I was contacted by Steve Ledford. I think everybody knows Steve. She grew a fence, but anyway, he's got an issue with, he was turned down for a cell tower by the FAA, determination or notice of presumed hazard. And I've got this flight zone map, I believe is what you call it, right, Jim? According to Steve, he is outside the flight zone. And one that was approved is inside the flight zone. And he was asking for some clarification, and I told him that I would come to the meeting and see if Jimmy could help us out or someone.
Well, I'm not familiar with the letter, but obviously FAA has a controlling say-so in everything that you're gonna do on the airport. So if he properly submitted the 7460 document to the FAA that gives the coordinates of the location of the proposed tower, they've done an airspace study, they make that determination whether they think it's a hazard to your airport or not. Now, to mitigate that, it could be lit, it could be marked, or they may say that it's not allowed. Your height zoning ordinance map, which is a copy of this, which shows your imaginary surfaces around the airport, is a reference guide. But again, I can take those same coordinates and plot it on here and show you exactly where it falls, but I can't make the decision on whether they can build a tower or not, and neither can you. FAA has to do that. So,
I think Tom and I both told him that it'd have to be the decision of FAA.
yeah, he would, have to further have discussions with those guys to see what would need to be done to build a tower. There's a couple other airports I want to tell you in the area right now. Jackson County's going through the same thing. They're trying to get a cell tower, or cell person's trying to put a tower. The FAA has determined there's 2 towers on that airport that are not even in their database, and there's a helicopter approach. So that thing's dead in the water right now as far as, and it's a tower that's existing. They wanted to put a new one. And it just came to the attention of FAA when that 7460 went in. They said, we don't even show this in our database. So that micro tower's
What would you suggest we do then?
I think whoever your person is here that contacted you is, he's got to follow back up with the FAA. I mean, there's nothing you can do as the authority.
No.
Or,
He is basically the landowner, and I believe the people FAA was in contact with was the tower company. So he probably needs to go back to tower company.
he needs to go back to the tower company and see, what they're looking at is the height above ground.
Right.
And what the ground elevation is at the site. And if it's gonna be greater than a certain height, it could be penetrating, and I don't know what approach surface it may be penetrating. There's several out there, Turks and Part 77 and a couple other things that they're gonna look at, but a lot of times when we look at things off of the ends of the runway, that's your approach, but there may be a missed approach procedure or something that's off to the side, or something else the FAA's analyzing that.
Okay, so they could actually, FAA could be considering something besides the flight zone, correct?
They could be looking at something perpendicular to the runway and not parallel, if you want to look at it that way. I don't know what they're looking at,
This
but,
approach is straight out and left on a right-hand turn, so that could be.
so, and I don't know what the letter actually says in here, but there's aeronautical study revealed that the structure would have no substantial adverse effect on the safe and efficient utilization of the navigable airspace.
Well, that's the one they approved. That's
Okay,
the-
you got another one.
Okay. This is his neighbor, so you see where this is going. Okay. His neighbor's approved and he's not.
Just a small
Put us
difference.
together.
Make a big difference.
That's odd. If the structure were reduced in height so as not to exceed 0 feet above ground, it would not exceed obstruction standards. Well, I think not. Yeah, I mean, he would have to contact flight procedures back and see what he could do about that. I would just have to put him back, that's what I would suggest that you do, because there's no rabbit you're gonna be able to run to get any decision different than what's on there.
That guy's the final part.
Did you have an email?
Okay. Give response to
An email.
Did you have an email that you
Yeah.
can read?
Yeah, it was doing it at once. And he's saying here, obviously, it's got to, it said right here, any resolution of the issue described above must be communicated to the FAA, so that they should get some information, so. Making it 0 height tells me if it was a 200-foot tall tower, they could raise it to 180. Carry all this, would be some way to mitigate it, but if they're saying it can't be 0 feet above ground, I
I'm
don't
saying you
think.
can't build it at all.
Is it a mountain hilltop out
Yeah,
there?
kinda. See, I think what's got him hung up is, this one's approved where this dot is. And this one, which he says is outside the flight zone, is gonna turn back. And I think, he's just looking for some sort of clarification. And-
Well, I mean, I think that's a legitimate question, looking at the height above ground. I mean, one tower's only 180 feet, this is only 175, and the existing ground is within 27 feet of one another. When was this? So this one was approved a year ago.
Anything changed as far as?
I don't know.
So they did it,
Parks, yeah, this would not be in his wheelhouse, if you will. I mean, there wouldn't
You
be
think it
contact.
gets, that's not gonna happen.
I'm just like the ridge.
Copy these miles maybe to Basil. Just see what he said, let him forward it. It's gonna probably go to ADO in Memphis to begin with, and then it'll go back to Oklahoma City.
No, so I'm gonna take
Yeah,
us
but
to
yeah,
the-
I didn't realize,
We should do that.
looking at it, that is kinda odd, I don't know why.
I'll scan and email them to you tomorrow.
Okay.
That, or do you want me to scan them and email them straight to Basil?
Yeah.
Just send that, okay.
Yeah, if we can just get some sort of clarification, on that's happening.
So that'll give us at least some.
But that is, I'm looking at the actual elevations of, they're both Baptist and Part 77, so we're looking at the same surface.
Okay, so we'll get Bruce.
Okay. Is any other business? Take care.
Yeah, that's fine.
The chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Thanks again for coming, appreciate it.
That's exactly what's happening.
So do you know how to fly plane?
No, I know, it's probably just sea basil.
Well, I just think it's cool.
Right behind you.